I'm a holistic counselor, and what that means is I am trained in multiple modalities. Um, so I'm certified in holistic art therapy, so different forms of creative expression, not just visual art. There is another modality called emotional freedom technique, also called tapping. It's called acupressure psychotherapy, because that's literally what it is. We're tapping on acupressure points and we're working through our issues. And also, I'm a Reiki practitioner. So, this kind of bouquet of modalities has allowed me to bring to clients the mind, body, and spirit connect, right? So oftentimes I think the healing has been stuck in the head. There's a lot of talk therapy going on, including me. I tend to intellectualize a lot of my feelings. God, it's so uncomfortable to kind of actually just feel the feel. And so this journey has been a very personal one as well, that has led me to become a professional and bringing everything that worked for me now to the world. And so that's where I am at professionally. One of the most exciting parts for me is the holistic art therapy course, Reiki, of course. Both are deeply rooted in foundations in compassion, loving kindness. So I'm also a huge nerd of contemplative sciences and neuroscience and how that blends up. And they kind of are saying the same story, right? And so this is an exciting time to be. So already my nerdiness, which is my personal side, is showing up. So my sessions, my workshops, I think my values and approach towards clients is a lot of softness, a lot of gentleness. I want to be the mirror for them to see their best versions, which oftentimes we don't, right? We see our worst versions. So I'm hoping that the spaces I create, whether it's one-to-one counseling or in these workshops, people begin to see how amazing they are. And so that's me professionally. Personally, I am, oh my God, like a huge fangirl of joy. It's taken me a lot of years to actually say that out loud because there's also a lot of shame associated with being this joyful, playful person. It's not very accepted, but I'm owning it. I'm owning it now. Joy, all things like messy, happy art, colorful stuff, nature and wilderness, animals, all of them bring me so much joy, right? So that is me all around fangirl of all of that. The bell in the background is my foster puppy. She has like a little bell around her neck, so I know where she's at. When it goes quiet, it's when I start worrying. First, what is contemplative sciences? This is all of what I think previously we've called this ancient wisdom, like, what we have from Eastern schools of thought in terms of like traditional Chinese medicine, Buddhism, our own scriptures. I think there's one thing where when we start examining them, it all comes down to this aspect of mindfulness, right? Like we need to be aware. And our role is to be in that observation point, right? Like that. And different schools will call it different words, but I think it's Sakshi in India, right? Like be a witness to your own thoughts. Now, something that we've been practicing, meditation is super serious and all of that. What neuroscience is finding is that, oh my God, what happens when we are in meditation? What happens when we practice? One of my favorite types of meditations is metta, which is loving kindness, and we let that kind of arise. And what happens with a meditation like metta is it's a feeling meditation. It's not about breath. It's sensations of love that you sit and you kind of observe. And what they've been able to kind of start measuring in neuroscience is now parts of our brain starts activating, and the bioelectricity that runs through us, the prana, right, the chi, it starts flowing. And they're able to now start measuring this kind of flow, right? They're even able to capture aspects that were considered woo-woo before, like aura, right? They're able to see the expansion. They're able to see and begin to understand that there is so much value in coming back to ourselves, coming home to ourselves. And that's no matter how we approach healing, we will arrive at mindfulness. And I think what excites me is I find regular meditation very boring. And that's why art therapy and mindful art is one of my favorite ways to do it. EFT is for the racing mind people. They're like, oh my God, don't make me sit down. Don't make me like figure out what color I want to. Just start tapping, and very quickly your mind just settles, right? And very quickly we are connected now to our inner wisdom. And I think it just keeps going back there, that we have all our answers. We just need to kind of quiet the chatter. And I love that neuroscientists are now beginning to speak the same language, right? And so this kind of confluence lets me know that I'm on the right path in some ways, because yes, I did a lot of this for my personal journey, but now that I'm bringing it out to the world, I want to be really sure that this is stuff that works. So there is science behind how art therapy has kind of emerged, like way back in the 40s. It emerged from hospitals, and how pain management became a thing through art. And now we have it, but we don't have it still. I still tell people I'm an art therapist, and they kind of draw a blank. So this is also one of my missions. Is I think one of the reasons I became an art therapist is through like my worst of my burnouts, art and creativity kind of held me and kind of pulled me up. And so I felt the magic, but I would then invite my adult friends to come and join me to like play and explore. And it would be a resounding no, right? There's just so much judgment that comes up. They're like, oh my God, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. Like, this is ugly. But of course, like my favorite champions are the kids. Like I take up crayons. I don't even need to invite them. We're all there. We're doing it. We're making amazing dragons and fantasy worlds. So I felt like, oh, I don't think I have the right vocabulary to entice adults back into play, back into playful healing, right? Like healing doesn't have to be all like boo-hoo, like tears and just kind of like digging up our wounds. I think a very, very integral aspect of healing is let's fill up our cup first, right? Because I don't know, I think all of us have this moment of the darkest night of our soul, or like what people would call like the absolute bottom, right? And at that point, imagine telling that person, okay, let's examine what your limiting beliefs are. I'm like, no, like get out of my face, right? It doesn't work. And it didn't work for me either. I tend to go very divergent. Like I can't just take one school of thought and believe it. I want it more and more and more. I am that person. I like many things, and therefore I also study many things. And when I practice and when I bring holistic counseling to the world, it is all of these modalities, right? Because they kind of reconfirm that all of this works. Even one of them will work, but there's no silver bullet. So go and like all of you sit and play with it and figure it out. But the science 100% backs up the value of art, the value of mindfulness, the value of working with our nervous system. I think it's amazing that even before fMRIs, yeah, there we go. All of that technology existed. We had people already mapping all of this, right? Like the language of the nervous system and our states of survival and thriving. All of that has somehow been already mapped in ancient texts. And now I almost feel like we're coming back home to that wisdom. And for some of us for whom the science is important, like the empirical science, then yeah, let's bring in the contemplative sciences where it was a lot of, I don't even know what they did. They contemplated, I guess, to figure all of this out, which blows my mind. And then there's the neuroscience where we're just literally studying it, mapping it, and measuring it and saying, yeah, there is something here. There's something very powerful here.